Hi there everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Inside Out, which came out in 2015. This has been one of my favourite movies to watch over the last couple of years. My son, who is nearly 4 years old, really likes the film, so I've had to watch it quite often. Now, I want to talk about how dark this film really is. This is one of the darkest stories that Disney has ever told. And that may surprise quite a lot of people when they hear that, but the underlying themes of this story are really dark. This film is about a girl named Riley, and we spend a lot of the movie inside her head with her 5 emotions. We have joy, we have sadness, anger, and we have fear and disgust. All of the emotions control what Riley does on a daily basis, and it was a very creative move to do this. I believe the writing of this movie is absolutely fantastic. You really do relate to this. I think anyone who watches this film really relates to the idea of having little people running around in your head and controlling what your behaviours are, really. And it's really interesting some of the ways the filmmakers showed this. Like there's a scene where Riley is a baby and she's given some broccoli by her dad, and when they see the broccoli, the emotion disgust suddenly decides she doesn't like it, and when dad threatens to not give Riley her dessert, anger then takes over and makes Riley cry. And it's just really interesting how creative Disney and Pixar were to incorporate this kind of fantastic idea into like an everyday life kind of scenario. And it's just really good. It's a really well written film. It's really sad, but like what I'm saying is the movie does have a lot of really dark underlying themes. It really does explore it explores anxiety quite a lot, and there is a lot of imagery in this film that really digs into someone who might actually be suffering from anxiety, and it actually touches on depression quite a lot as well. I just feel that the film really does. The creators of this film really knew what they were doing. I think anyone who watches this film can really relate to the story and really tap into the idea that these emotions in your head could actually really, if things went wrong like up here, then like everything's going to go wrong in your life. And that's what happens in the film, and that's what happens in real life as well. And you could tell a hell of a lot of research was done into psychology and mental health and all those sorts of things. And the story really does show those themes quite well. And when Riley and her family move and the emotions suddenly freak out and they don't know what's going on, it's like you do feel like you know how this feels because you've experienced it before. You've experienced quite a lot of the things that Riley has to go through and what the emotions go through in her head. And I really think it is one of the best Disney films made. It's up there with Toy Story for me. It is a really good film. I love all the emotions. They're all really well written. Joy is brilliant to watch, even though Joy herself has insecurities and has her flaws. It's still really well written. I love sadness. Sadness is really funny. I think really funny to watch. And sadness actually turns out to be like the core of the story. Anger is always a blast. He's always funny when he starts talking about the curse word that he knows and how he thinks it's a good one and they should just lock themselves in a room and just keep using that one curse word they use. It's really good writing, really fantastic. All the other emotions, fear and disgust, they're both brilliant, really funny. And this film is really scary in some places. There's a scene where basically what happens is Riley has these core memories, and when these core memories get lost because the family has moved, and the core memories are becoming more sadder because they're all memories of where she used to live. When these core memories all get lost, joy and sadness end up getting sucked up in to the unknown. They're out of the control panel and they have to try and make their way back to it. And they try loads of things, like when Riley falls asleep, they get on the train of thought, and the train of thought moves around. And when Riley falls asleep, the train of thought can't move, so they can only get back to where they need to be if Riley is awake. So they decide to try and wake her up in a way to scare her. They try and get into her dreams. Like, it shows a production crew making a movie and filtering it out of what, and like making a movie of what Riley is dreaming. And it's just such a clever idea. And what Joy and Sadness try to do, they try to wake her up by like interrupting the dream sequence or the film crew as such. And they try and do that by they try and wake her up by doing that, but it doesn't work. Eventually, what they do, they go down into the suppressed memory area, I believe, and it gets to it goes down to all of Riley's unconscious fears, and we see the staircase from the basement. We see large trees, tree-shaped pieces of broccoli, and we come to this clown who is asleep, and they wake the clown up, and the clown scares Riley awake, and then all of a sudden they can move again. It's just such a really clever way to progress the story, I thought. Sadness and Joy come across this imaginary elephant friend that Riley had as a child, and basically this character becomes quite an essential part of the story. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is a really sad moment with this character, and it's typical Disney. It really does make you kind of like shed a little tear. I won't lie. But yeah, overall, the story is really well done. The scenes inside the heads got a little bit confusing for me, like halfway through when things were getting a bit more chaotic. The scenes all outside with Riley trying to run away and trying to join the hockey team but getting angry and going away, all that was really good, really easy to follow. All the scenes with mum and dad, all brilliant, really good. But yeah, it did get a bit confusing inside with the emotions, like sort of halfway through. Got a bit confusing, but the story really picks up like towards the end. It's absolutely fantastic. It's really clever how Sadness and Joy eventually get back to the control panel, and Sadness and Joy really do go on a journey together, both physically and spiritually. They really do connect in a way that is really touching, and they have their differences at the start of the film, and they end up growing. They end up really liking each other, and Joy respects Sadness and vice versa. Anyway, it's a really good film. Really, seriously, if you haven't taken your kids to watch it, do so. And even if you don't have kids, you'll still enjoy this film. If you have any kind of respect for Disney, Pixar movies, it's an absolute joy to watch. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.